Yo, what is good, Knicks Nation? Welcome back to another Knicks Media live stream. And today we're going to be talking about last night's dominant victory and talk about tonight's game that the Knicks got. Oh my gosh, was last night a fun game? Well, Julius Randle, happy birthday. Why can't Julius Randle play like this every single time? Do we only have to wait for Randle to be the birthday boy in order to put up 6 threes and hit them all? So Julius Randle puts up a season high for himself, 36 points, 7 boards, 5 dimes last night. Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, and Quentin Grimes, they all had 16 apiece. And the Knicks simply owned the Detroit Pistons this season. We're 3-0 against them. Now, this season's been very interesting for the New York Knicks. We are dominating against teams that are losing teams rather. The Knicks are 7-2 against teams that are below 500, but we know that the Knicks have been struggling against good teams so far this season, and a lot of that has to do with their defense and simply finishing out games. Their 2 losses over the weekend to the Portland Trail Blazers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Those 2 games were so winnable, but we could not get the clutch bucket from Jalen Brunson when we needed to the most. So in this live stream, guys, I want to talk about last night's game and preview tonight's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. The New York Knicks are currently sitting at 10-11 on the season. They've been flirting around 500 throughout the entire course of the season. They've unfortunately not been able to get over that 500 hump and stay there consistently. So in this live stream, I want to give you guys my overall thoughts of the current state of the New York Knicks. So if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, please do me a gigantic favor. Hit that like button on your way in and simply subscribe to the channel if you are indeed new. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Drip Moore. Salute to you, my man. That man, David. Let's go, Knicks. Yes, sir. Astro is the first one on the live stream. We appreciate each and every one of you guys tuning in to the Knicks Media Show. So let's get right into last night's game first and foremost. You got the highlights from last night. Now, I don't think this game last night is going to make any Knicks fan think that, this team is back to being, an elite squad or anything. We are well aware how bad the Detroit Pistons are. They didn't even have Cade Cunningham or Jaden Ivey last night. But the good news is the Knicks can take advantage of a bad team and dominate them. And that's definitely a good feeling. There's nothing wrong with that. But the reality is this Knicks team got to be able to compete against good teams. And tonight is a perfect example of that. The Milwaukee Bucks are 14-5, I believe. And they are, we all know why the Milwaukee Bucks are so good. So I think we can all agree the biggest issue so far with this Knicks season has been 2 things, in my opinion. Overall team defense and closing games in the fourth quarter. So when it comes to the individual performances from the Knicks, Julius Randle's been up and down. I think it's been way more good than bad in my eyes. Jalen Brunson has been the all-star of the season for the Knicks. RJ Barrett has been extremely inconsistent and not playing well, to be honest, this season in terms of, the expectations for RJ Barrett entering year number 4, taking that leap. We wanted to be more efficient, more consistent. He's simply not answering the door. But whenever Quentin Grimes has been inserted in the starting lineup ever since Cam Reddish went down with that injury a couple weeks back, and Quentin Grimes has been very impressive. Not only is he great on defense, but his playmaking has been what's standing out to me the most. Last night, 16 points on an efficient 6 of 7 from the field, hitting his 3-point jump shots. He has a really good knack of his off-ball movement. He attacks the paint. He dishes it down low to the centers. He dishes it to the perimeter. So Quentin Grimes is bringing a completely different element to the starting lineup. And I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from the year 2 resurgence of Quentin Grimes. And then we got D Rose and Cam Reddish returning from injury over the weekend. And they are definitely providing a big impact off the bench. Quickly also had a really good game last night. And I just feel like this Knicks team, man, the offense is not the issue. And I think every Knicks fan understands that the offense is not the problem. We are one of the, top units in the league when it comes to offense outside of 3-point shooting. But at the end of the day, how can this Knicks team hold it together in the fourth quarter on defense? And I feel like that has a lot to do with communication, buying into the system, and overall just playing together. And it's really frustrating that this Knicks team lacks that defensive tenacity because head coach Tom Thibodeau, his role here is to be a defensive guru. And the idea that this Knicks team has turned into an offensive team and not a defensive squad kind of scares me. It's like, what? what is Tom Thibodeau's role here if we can't even win on the defensive end of the floor? So that's why I wanted to go live, guys. My apologies for not being as active as I'd like to be on this YouTube channel. Definitely look out for more videos and streams here on Knicks Media. I got a lot of stuff to balance with my other YouTube channels and other work outside of YouTube. But I really do appreciate you guys sticking with Knicks Media because I'll be here throughout the entire season. Of course, you guys know the drill by now. If you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the stream if you're just tuning in for the first time. So let's talk about Julius Randle real quick because Randle's coming off a game last night that was absolutely sensational, right? 36 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. It's his season high. We saw Julius Randle absolutely light it up, whether it's because it's his birthday or not. He came out there out of the gate, super aggressive shooting from downtown. He hit 6 3-pointers in the game, and I think they all came in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. And then he finishes off with 36 points. If we can get this type of Julius Randle consistently, we're simply a completely different team because we cannot rely on Jalen Brunson to be the offensive guy every single night. He's more that point guard that facilitates it. We know that Brunson is a walking bucket going to the paint. But I feel like an X factor for this team and a big reason why we're losing a lot is RJ Barrett. Without RJ Barrett taking that step, without him getting consistent, without him hitting his shots and not forcing it in the paint and missing those contested layups all the time, this Knicks team is not going to be able to compete with the top teams. And that's where tonight comes into fruition. We're versing a Milwaukee Bucks team who is really, where are they in the standings? Let's see. They are the second seed in the East with a 14-5 record. And we have to realize that this Milwaukee Bucks team, their energy is all about defense and running it through Giannis Antetokounmpo. He drives into the paint, kicks it out to shooters. And the reality is every time we verse the Bucks, I notice, whoever our big man is, whether it's Mitchell Robinson or Isaiah Hartenstein or Jericho Sims, they get into foul trouble very early in the game. So it's up to Mitchell Robinson to be able to hold back on the foul trouble and contain that man. Because if they get into foul trouble early, we are pretty much doomed. And when it comes to this Knicks team, off the bench, I'm liking what we're seeing from Emmanuel quickly. He's definitely showing up big time when it comes to defense. He is playing well in terms of scoring. He's facilitating. And I think we all can agree on one thing, that this Knicks team has overall been a mediocre squad, right? We're not great. We're not bad. We're right in the middle. And I feel like we are a trade away from taking that step over that mediocrity, which is the unfortunate reality of the current state of the New York Knicks. But I feel like this Knicks team still has a lot to prove. They still are very young. They still have a lot of excitement around them. And I'm really hoping that, this Knicks team can get their act together and start winning, getting on some winning streaks, because we're winning one, we're losing one, we're winning, we're losing. We're not finding our groove and getting consistency on this team. And it is a good sign that we are beating the bad teams, but it is a bad sign as well that we're losing against the good teams, because that tells you that we can't really compete in this league if we're not going to be able to do that. So I want to get your guys' thoughts in the live chat right now, or if you're watching a replay, in the comments down below. What's been your biggest takeaways from this Knicks season so far? We're sitting at 10-11. Last night we saw Julius Randle completely explode. I don't think any Knicks fans expecting Randle to do this on a consistent basis as much as we would like to see that from him, because when his perimeter shots falling, Julius Randle turns into a completely different animal. But the reality is that's not been the case. We have a game where Randle goes off, and then another game where he can't hit a shot from the perimeter, and then he just goes down low. So I'm going to hear your guys' thoughts in the live chat right now. Your biggest takeaways from Julius Randle. Do you think that he's going to be more consistent? Jalen Brunson has been a revelation for this Knicks team, because Knicks fans have been waiting for a point guard to be able to facilitate the rock and calm things down late in the fourth quarter for a long, long time. And we finally have that in Jalen Brunson. He simply did not have to do anything last night. He only had 16 points, but he shot 6 of 8 from the field, 5 dimes. It was one of those games where Brunson was like, all right, I'm going to take a back seat on this one. Let Julius Randle explode. Let Quentin Grimes do his thing, and let the bench unit come out there in the fourth quarter. Like, Deuce McBride and Jericho Sims, all the guys out there. We put up a season high 140 points. That's pretty cool. And we know it's against the Detroit Pistons. They are a very bad team, especially without their 2 top players. But now the big test is tonight. So what's your prediction? Do the Knicks have a chance to win against the Milwaukee Bucks tonight? Do they have a chance? I think the only way this Knicks team wins is simple. We need our top 3 guys to all go off. And that's the unfortunate reality that we're sitting here with, because I don't have a lot of confidence in the defense to contain Giannis, contain the 3-point shooting that the Milwaukee Bucks have. Can Julius Randle put up 25 plus? Can Jalen Brunson put up 20 plus? Can RJ Barrett get more efficient and attack the paint and hit his perimeter jump shots? Because RJ Barrett has been a big time big time disappointment this season. There's no sugarcoating it. You guys know me. I'm a big RJ guy, but I keep it real when it comes to what I'm seeing on the floor. And RJ Barrett is simply not getting the job done this year. We give him that big contract in the offseason. We tell him, here's the $100+ million. We're not going to trade you. Please take that next step. And unfortunately for RJ Barrett, for whatever reason, he is taking a big step backwards. Now, the one thing I will say is RJ Barrett every single season starts off slow and then he gets his groove together. But we are, 21 games in, RJ, and this Knicks fan base is going to grow tired. You don't have that excuse anymore of, oh, you're young, you can figure it out. No, we are a team that's ready to win right now, and RJ Barrett simply got to play better basketball. He's got to be able to finish at the rim. He's got to be able to attack the paint and just be more consistent. That's all the Knicks fans want, because the inefficiency from RJ Barrett is definitely a gigantic concern. But I feel like a big secret weapon for this team, for the Knicks, is Quentin Grimes. I think that he's a big X factor for a lot of reasons. I think Quentin Grimes brings a different element to that team in terms of perimeter shooting, his defense, his ability to switch, get into the passing lanes, and his playmaking ability has been such a big surprise for me. He loves taking people off the dribble, attacking the paint, and if his shot's not there, he dishes it down low to whoever the big man is for an easy dunk. I am really blown away from Quentin Grimes' off-ball movement as well. He has a really good feel for the game when he attacks the paint, cuts back door, whoever has the ball. And then when it comes to Jalen Brunson, you cannot speak enough about Jalen Brunson. You really, really can't. That man David brings up Brunson as well. Jalen Brunson has been putting up great numbers for us. Absolutely. I mean, let's look up his numbers for the season, because I'm very curious. Jalen Brunson's average for the season has to be through the roof, because he's been nothing short of phenomenal. So for the season, Jalen Brunson, 21.5 points per game on 49%. Wow. 6.6 rebounds, 3.5, 6.6 assists per game, 3.5 rebounds per game. So Jalen Brunson's playing like an all-star. And I think that he has a really good shot of being an all-star in the Eastern Conference. I know that position is pretty stacked in the East, so there might be guys that might get it all ahead of him. But there's no doubt that Jalen Brunson has been the most consistent player for the Knicks, the most reliable for the Knicks, and more importantly, he's been that veteran to hold himself accountable, hold his players accountable, hold his teammates and his coaches accountable. You see that he plays with a different energy out there, sacrificing his body for those offensive fouls. You just love everything about Jalen Brunson, and he gives this Knicks team an opportunity to actually be competitive every single game. There's not any game out there where I feel like they're out of it. I feel like they fight to the end of the whistle. It's rare that we get blown out, to be honest. But the big issue I have with this Knicks team is giving up leads. If you have a lead, please protect it. So let's finish off the stream right here, guys, by previewing tonight's game. We're going up against one of the top units in the NBA with the Milwaukee Bucks. They're the second seed in the East. We know that this Knicks team beats up on bad teams, but they cannot beat up on good teams. So this is a great opportunity for this Knicks squad to get back on track, figure out a way to beat on one of the best teams in the league. Because if you can beat the Bucks tonight, it sets a statement that we can actually be a competitive team in the Eastern Conference. So that's going to wrap up this stream, guys. Wanted to go live for around 15 or so minutes to give you guys my overall thoughts of the Knicks. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below. I love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you guys are not already, please hit that like button on your way out. That's going to do it for this Knicks Media live stream. And let's go, Knicks. Let's get the dub tonight. Positive vibes only, baby. We're going to beat the Bucks. I'm manifesting it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.